Did he not have a gun on? Have you ever done law enforcement? Any one of you emasculated men on a thing? Have you ever done law enforcement? Do you think illegal and legal immigration are the same?
Well,
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Just for starters,
you don't know what that means?
The same.
Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy wearing a bunny hat and a Spider-Man backpack, used as bait to get his father to come outside. ICE still creates deportation.
The family refused to take the kid into the house. They refused to take the kid back from the facility. So ICE had no choice but to have this kid in a safe environment because his dad did not care enough about him to take care of him. You guys are using a 5-year-old for your immigration porn. Like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications. Anytime I go live or make a video, make sure you still subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment this video, share this video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this.
I want to bring in the incident with Ilhan Omar because it's kind of connected to this. So Ilhan Omar was doing a town hall in Minneapolis. She was attacking ICE, and then a guy comes out of the audience, who's sitting down, and sprays her with a strong-smelling liquid from a syringe. Now, that is a potentially extremely dangerous incident. No one knows what that could have been. It turned out to be, we believe, harmless. He is wrestled away. But had it not been harmless, had it been acid or something else, then, you know, maybe she could have been very seriously hurt or dead. Now, Brandon, what has concerned me about this is that from Donald Trump, and I think you have intimated this too, there's an immediate position by people on the MAGA right that because you don't like Ilhan Omar, that she somehow has staged this, it's not real, it didn't happen the way people think it did, this guy was a plant, and so on. And again, it comes back to what I sense is a complete eradication of basic humanity. There ought to be parameters between left and right where we can just agree when something like that happens, we all say, this is terrible and shouldn't be happening.
Piers, there's no jump to conclusion. I don't care about none of these people. They don't pay my bills. I don't have to say anything about Ilhan Omar. I don't really care about her. But the bottom line, and Donald Trump don't pay my bills either. But the bottom line is that I'm looking at this impartially. I don't know what anybody said. I saw the video, and it does not look consistent with someone trying to assault another person, which means I have never in my life seen a person get up, spray something out of syringe at someone's chest. It happened to be nothing, inert, and then she comes after him. You didn't see her back away from him. You didn't see her shy away from him. You didn't see any of that
Brandon,
nature.
You would
and
say,
the guy didn't even resist.
Brandon, you would say the complete opposite if that was a Republican congressman.
That's not true.
Who had
Brandon, is the guy going to jail just for fun?
Like that's not true.
Is the guy going to jail just for fun? Is that part of the show? I just want to hear a little bit more about this theory.
Listen,
no, please, just 1 second. There's just a question. I want to hear more about this theory. That guy.
I'm giving you the elements.
Is he going to jail for show? He's going to jail.
I'm giving you elements of why this looks strange to me.
Okay, so why do you think he's going to jail? Is it for show? Is he like Antifa? Is this part of like some? Is this the lizard people?
Listen, was there anything in the syringe? It was inert. There was nothing poisonous. There was no pepper spray. There was nothing in the syringe to start with.
I'm asking you why you think he's going to jail for this.
He sprays her with the syringe in the chest. She goes after him. If you're afraid of somebody spraying you with a chemical agent, you're not going to pursue them. He resisted not one bit. He goes to the ground. She says.
So you don't believe it, do you, Brandon? You don't believe it?
I don't think that this was, I think this was staged. I don't know if it was true or not.
Can I ask a question here? Can I ask a question?
Okay.
What if Alex Pretti had sprayed a liquid onto this ICE officer? Would you have, Brandon? Would you have said that there was no threat at all?
Murder.
It'd be aggravated assault.
And you would have supported executing him.
No,
and just like you would have supported.
No, that wouldn't have been justification. That wouldn't have been justification for the ICE agent to react. But merely holding a phone is justification to react.
Who said that it's justified for somebody to spray something? We're talking about a specific incident where a man had a gun. They had a reason to believe that he was armed and dangerous.
He had a gun in his holster. He was holding a phone. He was holding a phone.
Can we talk about masculinity for a second, Piers? I'd like to talk about masculinity for a second.
Gun on him.
I would too.
Have a gun on him?
I would too.
Did he not have a gun on? Have you ever done law enforcement? Any one of you emasculated men on a thing. Have you ever done law enforcement?
Have you Brandon, I can field this one for you. I'm happy to take this. Thank you for that.
Why are they emasculated?
Have you ever had to use force and make a split-second decision?
Apparently, Piers, we're emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill somebody.
Well, you could judge
apparently we're emasculated because we're not in support of six guys jumping on and murdering.
You guys have literally sold past half of our inventory in pre-order in 1 week. 1 week, Verdict has sold past half of all of our inventory. Like, we got to restock. You guys are getting ready to sell us out. And if you want to get Verdict shipped to you during the pre-order period, which I think is going to be at the end of this week, it's going to start shipping out. If you want the Verdict, you better get on there and get some today because we're going to sell out.
So make sure, if you're interested, go on. You must be 21 and over, obviously, but you make sure you drink responsibly. We don't do the irresponsible drinking. We don't do the drinking to get drunk and intoxicated. Pre-order today.
Why are they emasculated?
Have you ever had to use force and make a split-second decision?
Apparently, Piers, we're emasculated because we're not bootlickers for ICE agents who want to kill somebody.
Well, you could judge
apparently we're emasculated because we're not in support of six guys jumping on and murdering a nurse.
There's a use of force.
You're a real man, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, you're a real man because you can defend six full-grown men unloading a clip into a nurse's head.
Hang on.
Hey,
hang on, please. Hang on. We can't hear you when you all talk. When you all talk at once, nobody hears any of you. Tim.
Yeah. So I have a couple of things on this question of whether I've been an officer. This appeal to authority. I haven't, but you know who has? The chief of police of Minneapolis.
The
chief of police of Minneapolis. Excuse me, Brandon. Let me finish talking. The chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference.
Man who shot Pretti.
Brandon, let him talk.
Well, actually, that's a good point. We actually don't know the man who shot Pretti because the federal government is hiding him, so we don't know who killed their own citizens yet.
Isn't he?
But we know that the chief of police of Minneapolis gave a press conference after the shooting of Pretti, where he talked about how the judgment was irresponsible and how his police officers, every single police officer in the entire city of Minneapolis, shot 0 bullets last year. They encountered real criminals. Excuse me, let me finish. They encountered real criminals, not soy boy protesters like Alex Pretti. They encountered actual criminals. They encountered murderers,
not
rapists,
in use of force scenarios.
Assault. Yeah, they did. They encountered those people. They were armed.
How many?
They disarmed 1,000. According to the chief of police of Minneapolis, they disarmed 1,000. They disarmed 1,000 people last year without firing a single bullet. These morons fired 10 bullets. And this whole thing about this definition of masculinity. Okay, it's like the tough guys are the six mass goons pushing down a woman, pushing down a protester, and then getting scared. Oh, they saw a gun, and I got so scared, and I've got to shoot my bullet. Boom, 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 10 times. I'm so scared. I got to shoot my bullet. Those are the masculine men? No, I'm sorry. The masculine guy was the guy standing up for the woman, doing what men should do, standing up for the woman that got pushed down, and then in exchange for his bravery, a bunch of shot him dead and unloaded 6 bullets into his dead body while he was laying on the ground. That's what happened. Those are the emasculated men. And I wish we had more men like Alex Pretti, but unfortunately he's dead.
Okay. Let me bring in. All right, hang on.
You never arrested anybody.
Let me bring in.
You never carry a gun. You probably don't have a gun on you now. Quit acting like you bold and brave. If you think
it's cool to just shoot people,
do you have a gun on you
all the time? I'm concerned about your weapon.
Do you carry a gun?
I'm a little concerned about your weapon based on your judgment and how big of a wuss you are.
I was a police officer.
Brandon,
how many people did you kill?
Brandon,
how many people you kill?
If I may, Brandon, you don't have to be packing a gun to be a real man. I don't have a gun. More than most people in my country.
Said that. The wussy said that. I'm saying that in order for you to judge a man who's making a life or death decision, in order for you to judge another man who's making a life and death situation, it would behoove of you or have any wisdom to be in a situation like that. I've been in a situation where I had to choose whether or not I had to shoot a person or not based on use of force policy and the threat of bodily injury or death.
Did you do it?
You have never done that. So it is weird for you to try to judge a person who's in that split-second decision when you don't even carry a gun. So how about you go on a ride along and do some training?
It's pretty easy to judge,
and maybe you'll have
actually.
a better perspective.
I want to play a clip of Jimmy Kimmel last night.
And to the people of Minneapolis, to the Pretti family and the Good family, and these people who were looking out for their neighbors, we want you to know that we are with you and you are not alone.
Brian, apart from the fact that Jimmy Kimmel really needs to stop crying, I just wanted to say that as a general blanket observation, that barely a week goes by when he's not blubbering like a baby about something. I'm not saying he doesn't care. I'm just saying that it's getting a bit weary for me. But also, I don't remember him crying when Barack Obama was president. There's a clip doing the rounds today of Obama talking in really tough language about his own deportation record and why it was so important. He deported over 3 million people. No liberal friends of mine gave a damn or knew how many people he was deporting. He was putting kids in cages, separating them from their families, all the stuff that people chuck at Trump. But it was never an issue throughout those 8 years. He was the biggest deporter of people in the history of the United States in terms of pro rata per year as a president. So there's been a massive double standard there. And I can't help but think that one of the reasons is the liberal skewed media, which it is. I've worked in it. You could shoot a harpoon around the old CNN newsroom when I was there and not hit a conservative voter. That they just didn't care because it was their guy. And what happens this time, because everyone hates Trump on the left and the media collectively hate Trump. So they fire everything up. Then it becomes a huge thing. Then you have people going out in the streets and protesting because they've been whipped up by the media. Then you have these altercations with ICE. Then you have deadly altercations. And we're in the position we're now in. I'm not saying they're to blame, but I'm saying that part of what we're seeing here is something that never happened in the Obama years about this kind of issue of deporting illegal immigrants, because nobody cared. And my question for you is, all right, we can have Jimmy Kimmel blubbing on TV about it because he cares so much. Why didn't he care the same way when Obama was doing this? And did you care? And did you speak out about Obama's deportation record? Or do you accept that Obama pretty much shared Trump's view, which is actually, if you're in the country illegally, then you should probably be deported because there are millions of people trying to become legally immigrants to the United States. And there are hundreds of millions who've come to the country over the last century who did it the right way.
Look, I can't speak to what my thoughts were during the Obama administration. I was in college, so I wasn't really paying that much attention to politics. But I would say in general, look, I am in favor of immigration. I think it's better for the economy. I also recognize that immigrants, if we've heard so much about crime,
illegal?
Immigrants commit crime at lower rates than native-born Americans. So this isn't about stopping crime, because if this was about stopping crime, our law enforcement agencies would focus on the people who are actually committing it, certainly committing it at higher numbers, but they won't, because this is not about crime. That's just some flimsy pretext that people use to be able to justify this. Go ahead.
They're not always able to find people who are illegally in this country that commit crimes. When they have a crime committal stat, it's because they've been able to find the person and prosecute the person to some degree. People that are illegally in this country have no identity. They commit crimes with complete impunity. So
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. This idea that they have an identity.
Wait a minute.
Do you think illegal and legal immigration are the same?
Look, of course they're not the same. Of course they're not the same. But the reality is that
do you accept both, or do you believe in one or the other?
But they all get treated the same.
Well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Just for starters,
you don't know what that means?
The same.
If I could just say really quick 2 things on this point. Number one, right now they're deporting actually people that came the right way. They're reporting people that came here as asylees or refugees, and they're sending them back, even though they've been going through the legal process. Excuse me, can I just finish?
Seekers?
They are asylum seekers. They came across the border illegally. They showed up to a port of entry and they volunteered. They've been going to their checkups with ICE, waiting for their court date, and they're deporting those people. So excuse me, just really quick. So those aren't illegal immigrants that are being deported. They're people that have done the right thing. They're being deported.
And
lastly, can you just let me say one other thing?
Other than those people.
Can I say one other thing?
The other 20 million.
I just want to say one other thing before you respond. When you talk about illegal immigrant crime, I do have one pretty easy stat to point to. So far this year in Minnesota, illegal immigrants have killed 0 people. The ICE agents have killed 2. So 2 American citizens have been killed by ICE, 0 by illegal immigrants. So that's the current crime stats in Minnesota.
Kick out ICE and bring in illegal immigrants. Okay.
Well,
Look,
kick out the
Liam
murderers,
Ramos,
I would say. I actually want to kick out the murderers. No, great. I want to kick out the murderers. The illegal immigrant murderers, get the hell out. The guy that killed Laken Riley, get the hell out. By the way, the guy that killed Alex Pretti, you get the prison as well. How about that? We get rid of all the killers.
If he's unjustified in his use of force,
you're manning up there.
Let me ask Brandon. Let me ask Brandon.
Look at what Jacob Fry has done in Minneapolis.
If I can say one thing.
Hang on, please.
There was a
Minnesota.
Hang on, please. Guys, let me try and moderate the panel,
criteria, not the hysterics.
Let me moderate the panel.
I gave you a stat.
Brandon, do you think there's a lot of hypocrisy given that Obama deported 3 million people and was very strong in his rhetoric, as indeed Bill and Hillary Clinton were? The clips are everywhere, right? They all basically agree about the problem.
I'm for that, Piers. This is the question about hypocrisy. It's a question about killing American citizens.
I literally lost my mind.
Deporting criminals is fine.
When I went back and listened to what Barack Obama said. What Barack Obama said about not coming to America, you would go to the back of the line. You didn't do it the right way. We're gonna catch you and we're gonna kick you out of our country. Everybody should be in lockstep with that. If you came here legally, we love you.
But they are coming here legally. Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy, who was wearing a 5-year-old boy who was wearing a Spider-Man backpack, a bunny hat. His father was here through the asylum his father was here legally. He was going through the process. So there's always an excuse. You'll always complain.
Well,
he was here. He was going through the process.
So they could identify the illegals better so they could get rid of them?
Please.
Let him talk.
He was the exact Liam Ramos's father, the 5-year-old child.
Then why not help
stop talking for a second?
The illegal aliens?
All right, go. Shut up.
A 5-year-old boy.
Right,
a 5-year-old boy was used as bait.
Brian, make your point about the 5-year-old boy, then Brandon, you respond.
Liam Ramos, a 5-year-old boy wearing a bunny hat and a Spider-Man backpack, used as bait to get his father to come outside. He was here legally, going through the legal process, the exact thing that, Brandon, you're claiming you wanted to see, and yet he's now in the process of deportation. So the goalpost will always move. You'll claim that this is all about wanting people to go through the proper process, but then you've got people who are going through the proper process, and yet ICE still creates deportation out of their processes and tries to get them out of the country anyway.
Okay, are you done?
Brandon?
Okay, I want people to be very clear about this. You can come through the country without going through a port of entry. You're illegally in this country. You can come through a port of entry and your asylum claim gets denied, and you're also illegal in this country. So 2 things can be true at the same time. They did not use a 5-year-old to lure this guy. They already had an arrest warrant for him. He got arrested. He fled from them, leaving his child behind. They had to take the child into some type of custody for his safety. The family refused to take the kid into the house. They refused to take the kid back from the facility. So ICE had no choice but to have this kid in a safe environment because his dad did not care enough about him to take care of him. You guys are using a 5-year-old for your immigration. It is not true that they lured that man. Listen, why can't we all on this panel say, legal immigration is good? If you come here legally, you have broken the law and you have to be deported. Why are we against deportation of illegal immigrants? The 2 people in the middle make sense.
No, what are you
Piers,
talking
I'd like
about,
to get in here real quick.
You don't
on the
let me
asylum
talk,
issue.
but I'm for it. Start with the worst of the worst.
Then why not?
If people are here legal, deport them.
Minnesota to cooperate with ICE.
Because ICE isn't going after illegal immigrants. How hard do I have to say this? I agree with... Could I finish? I can answer your question if you want.
So they are trying to leave the illegals in and deport the legal ones? Well, why not have Minnesota give up the illegal immigrants that are in their jails? Why aren't you in favor of that? Or maybe you are in favor of that. I don't know.
They're doing that.
Huh?
The Minnesota Department of Corrections
They are not
is working
doing it.
with
That
yes,
is
they
a
are.
sleight of hand. That is not. That is factually untrue. You can spaz out or do whatever you do, but that's not true. The jails are not turning people over, and that's the vast majority of people arrested. The prison system is, and that's the sleight of hand that Tim Walz is using there. But the jails are not, and that's factually true, and they would even admit it. Tim Walz
This is here. None of
Here's-
okay,
can I
hey
ask a
man,
question from
and
a
you
law
can
enforcement
spaz out
perspective?
and do your little shtick.
I'm just trying to
but I
reply.
think the other issue. All right, go ahead and reply, Tim.
Look, I am with you. Criminal aliens should be handed over to federal ICE agents or federal CPB. I'm with you on
I
that.
would use your
And so if
platform
you have
and tell them
excuse
that.
me, if you could you let me finish? And if you have a critique about the way that Hennepin County and Minneapolis is handling that is a fair critique, and that is fine. And we could talk about that policy and what the right policy is. I'm also for deporting people that came here illegally. What ICE is doing in Minneapolis is far beyond that remit. They are going after people that have asylum claims that have not been adjudicated. They're going after protesters. They're going after American citizens. They've jailed American citizens. They're going into neighborhoods. They're bullying people. They're pushing people, and they're murdering people. So if your issue is let's deal with Hennepin County prisons and figure out how to work better with them, then you don't need to murder American citizens to achieve that goal. And so we can agree on that. I wish you could agree that the American citizens should be shot dead.
Let me bring in Brandon.
More issues.
Let me bring in
streets.
Brandon. Let me bring in Brandon because I want to bring in just an update from Polymarket about Kristi Noem. It's quite interesting. We're following the prediction markets on this subject of who will be the first to leave Trump's cabinet. Almost uniquely, he's a year in and hasn't fired anyone from his cabinet yet. Polymarket has a $1.5 million market open, a lot of activity. As we speak, Kristi Noem is at 39% to be that first member of Trump's cabinet to be fired. She was just at 13% before the 2 deaths in Minneapolis. I mean, Brandon, do you think she's on the way out? Is she going to be the first casualty of Trump's cabinet?
I don't know. I think Trump is very loyal to the people that are in his cabinet right now. That's why he hasn't fired anybody so far. But I do think that she's becoming incredibly unpopular on the Republican side. Now, I don't necessarily agree or disagree with it. I don't pay attention to what she's saying. I don't care unless people are getting arrested and they're doing their job. But I do believe if she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing, if she's doing things illegitimately and is not working on behalf of the country, get her sorry self out of there. And I believe that with anybody that's in the cabinet. I don't owe no loyalty to none of y'all. If you don't do your job, you need to get fired. And so if there's a fair evaluation of Kristi Noem and what she's doing and not doing, and if she's not doing what's right for the American people and she's committing fraudulent behavior, fire her. I think we all understand it. Can I give you the Border Patrol response real quick? Law enforcement and Border Patrol connection, because I worked in law enforcement in Tucson, which is a border state, and we work well with Border Patrol and ICE. And there's a big difference when you arrest somebody and they are illegally in this country. Now, local law enforcement not have jurisdiction to arrest them for their federal crimes, but we do take them to the jail and we put them on what we call an ICE hold. Therefore, they cannot leave the jail facility even when they're done serving for their city crime or their state crime. The ICE agents will come and verify them and take them. That keeps the community way safer because ICE does not have to go into the community. When you force ICE to go into the community and then you have idiots harassing them, doxing them, throwing stuff at them, blockading their vehicles, you create an unduly risk. This is why ICE is patrolled, or even Border Patrol in their assistance with ICE around the entire country, and you don't see people getting shot, and hardly anywhere else. You would say 99.9% of the shootings are in Minnesota. What?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
You do see people getting harassed in other places, actually, not just Minnesota.
Because this is
Minnesota's just the only place they've murdered anyone so far. But they've harassed people. They jailed citizens in California. They shot people in Chicago.
Listen, give me the murder numbers. Give me the people who have been murdered by ICE, and then you tell me where they were murdered
this year. There have been 2 people murdered by ICE in Minneapolis so far. And then
one city.
Renee Good and Alex Pretti. And then they shot a guy in Chicago, a gal in Chicago.
Patrol agent. No, Renee hit an ICE agent with her car. She got shot. This guy came and confronted and physically assaulted and had physical
I'm
contact
sorry.
with a firearm.
I can't do any
and he
more
got
of this
shot.
like apology of
You don't
the
have
killers.
to do anything.
You can't
Well, let's
do
put
whatever
some
you
money
want,
up.
man,
Let's do
but
a
do not
poly market.
smear dead people.
If this guy goes to jail for shooting Pretti, let's
It's
do a poly
shameful.
market.
What you're doing is shameful. You should be ashamed
you
of
a
yourself.
wuss. You don't understand the law. Don't get mad at me.
I actually think it's.
I'm not mad. You're just. You should repent.
You don't understand
You should
the
find the
law.
Lord.
I think
the law.
what Brandon is doing. I think
You
what
don't
Brandon is
understand the
doing
law.
is actually. I think what Brandon is doing is actually pretty instructive because the reality is that everybody saw the video. Like 85% of Americans saw this
doesn't
video.
matter.
More,
You
more
don't
Americans
understand
saw
the
this
law.
video. Brandon,
So what
Brandon,
you're seeing
just
is
chill out
not
for a second.
according to what they're
Just
gonna be judged by.
Control yourself. Brendan, try to control yourself.
No,
for like 2
you.
seconds,
How about
okay?
you listen?
Try to control
somebody
yourself.
know what
try.
they're talking
Try.
about.
Just try like 2 seconds to not
Well,
talk.
give me the law.
We'll
Give me
see
the
if you
law
can do
that
it.
he's going to be prosecuted under.
Brandon, 2 seconds, man.
Give me the law he's gonna be prosecuted
This isn't
under.
a good. This isn't a good testament for how law enforcement officials are able to control themselves. 2 seconds
and it's
without
not a good
talking.
tensement how
The reality is the vast majority of Americans.
wusses like
have,
you
Brandon,
don't know the law.
Brandon, just shut up for like 2 seconds.
Where's
dude.
the law?
The vast majority of Americans saw this video. We know
don't
what we
matter.
saw with our own eyes. Even conservatives, even independents know that
What
what
law?
ICE was doing was completely unjustified.
What
That
is he
he
gonna
was
be
holding
charged
his
with?
cell phone and was bombarded by 6 grown men who
charged
shot
with?
him dead. And
What
the
is he
fact
gonna be
that you're
charged with?
standing up here, Brandon, just shut the up for 2 seconds. The fact that you can sit up
is that-
here
is that gonna
and
work
claim
on this show?
and claim
You
and
talking
claim,
something that work with me, buddy? Give me the
Brandon,
law.
What are you gonna do? Shoot
Nobody
him
thinks
10
you're tough
times?
because
Shoot him in the back of the head?
This whole
What are you gonna
time
do?
you're cosplaying as a tough guy while you bootleg for 6 grown men who jumped on a
don't have to
nurse and
cosplay.
shot him dead. This is not the
come
tough
see me in person
position.
and see
You
if
are
I'm
defending
cosplaying.
you being a is
Tell
not
me
a
what
tough
it is.
position, my dude. Being a
Okay.
for a bunch of grown men
Gentlemen.
who killed a nurse
What's
who
the
was
law?
helping a woman is not
Gentlemen.
the tough
What's the
position that you think it is.
Gentlemen,
What law?
Gentlemen,
What is he going to be
can
charged
I just
with?
say, gentlemen, I had hip surgery a week ago, and can I just say it flared up at the start of this debate. It's carried on flaring ever since, and the only thing I can put it down to is that you lot have shouted at each other now for 45 minutes without drawing breath, and I owe it to my new hip to call an end to proceedings. But thank you all very much.